Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on my NaNoWriMo progress, as well as some tips that you can use if you want to, there's still a second half of the month remaining. You could try to, finish a novella in the last 15 days. Now, let's get started. First, I'm going to grab a little bite to eat. Right, chicken pot pie casserole, cornbread, mashed potatoes. In case I forgot to mention that. Now, at this point is day 15. So, about halfway in. Well, you'll probably be seeing this video come on the 16th. So far, I'm ahead of schedule. I've made some tweaks to speed myself up a little bit further. I'll go over those in just a moment. Now again, if you're doing NaNoWriMo and your method is working, that is awesome. Each person who does it probably has their own method, their own tips and tricks. I'm just going to share what is working for me personally. For those who watched last week's video, you may recall how I was doing basically 60 paragraphs a day in 10 sets of 6. I decided to make a slight tweak to that because although I was getting about the amount I needed to get written, I want to be ahead of schedule. So a couple days ago, I decided to up my paragraph count. Like each session, rather than doing 6 paragraphs, I do 7 for a 70 total. The reason for this was a couple of fold. Like I said, when I was a little bit ahead, I want to be more ahead. And 2, I was starting to notice that sometimes I have to focus on, okay, I need to boost my word count for this set of paragraphs. I wanted to keep focus on, is this a good set of paragraphs rather than how many words are in it. And by adding that extra little paragraph, sometimes it'd be like 10 words, sometimes it'd be like 30 words, but I got to stop worrying. And now I'm cranking out roughly 200 words per session. Which with 10 sections is roughly about 2,000 per day. Now, we'll see if my pace continues, but right now I'm a bit ahead of schedule, roughly about a day ahead. I'm going to try to finish the month in roughly the next, I'd say a week and a half? No, a little bit more than that, roughly about the next, 12 or so days. Now, I did, run into writer's block. And I want to tell you a very useful trick for how to deal with it, as well as, if, how should I put this? If you know you have to make a change earlier, but you're still in NaNoWriMo mode. Let me tell you some tweaks for that. Now, the concept is very simple, and frankly, some of the best solutions are, especially in the current situation, because you're trying to get as many words out by the end of the month as possible. And so, since complex is time-consuming, is antithetical or against your goals. Simple solution number 1 for writer's block. And this is what I did. There were a couple of sections where I was getting kind of bored of the section I was writing. So what I did was I simply put in parentheses a summary of what I wanted to have happen in this scene. Then I skipped to that scene and went to the next scene. Like I said, very simple solution. Took me like what? A few minutes. Whereas if I kept trying to like plow my way through that scene, I don't like it. And I don't want to take the time to figure out what's wrong with it. Because again, NaNoWriMo, gotta blast out those words. I might have had trouble, meeting my daily word count. I gotta say, this is really good. A little bit on the sweet side. But it's like, sweet corn, Now, this technique works because, well, you want to get, it done quickly so you can push forward. And by saying a couple minutes, just doing a quick summary, you know what you're going to do later on, and you can make appropriate tweaks then when you have the time. The board underneath this keeps, spinning when I do this. Now, technique number 2 is pretty much the same thing. This is for when you know there's a change you want to make in a previous scene or even early in the same scene, but you don't want to spend the time to actually make that change. Just make a parenthetical note of what you want to do. For example, let's say you said, this scene would probably be better instead of A's point of view, it should be in B's point of view. Put a parenthetical note of adjust scene to be in B's point of view, along with anything else you want to put. Like maybe you want to also say, and make it clear from A's body language how she's feeling about the situation. Again, it's a simple technique, but simple techniques are best. Now, at this point, I am past the halfway mark, and I'm basically racing for home. My main challenges are to make sure that I maintain that speed, that I don't suffer from writer's block, and not just I maintain that speed, but I maintain that discipline. Now, if you're considering, and this is a good idea, if you haven't already started your NaNoWriMo, don't worry, you can do a half NaNoWriMo. Just start on when you see this video. Just say for the next 15 days, I'm going to write 25,000 words. All you need is a basic idea and off the clock, apart from when you're actually writing, you might just jot down like a basic outline of what's coming up in the next few scenes. And if you're worried that's going to be awful to read, don't worry. You're absolutely right. It's going to be awful to read, but it's going to be written, and what's written can be edited, and what's edited can become great. The story that keeps stuck in your mind for the next 30 years is never going to be great. Or the one you put down on paper. Or on a Google Doc or a Word document, but you know what I'm saying. If you want to know when to start now. You can do this. Just figure out how am I going to complete 25,000 words. It might be in a day you do 1,600 words. It might be I'm going to do 1,600 words a day. It might be I'm going to do 1,000 words a day and then sprint near the end. It might be I'm going to wipe out 10,000 words now and then do 1,000 a day or something like that. Either way, figure out what you're going to do and get started. The worst case scenario, you'll have more written at the end of the month than you started. And that in itself is a success. But you want to go for the gold? You want to get that 25,000 words, or if you already started, 50,000 words done? Go for it. You can do this. Like I say, I'll see you folks in about a week. I'll keep you updated on challenges I faced, how I'm doing my objectives, and I mean, pretty much that. Like, also any tips I have, for how to keep going. Like I said, we're about halfway through the month. There's 15 days to go. Now, I've got to say, I would definitely try this recipe. Like, I know we're not doing reviews or anything anymore, but I'd rate this easily like a 9 out of 10 for the pot pie casserole. Very tasty. You got some veggies, you got some meat, but the best part is it all combines well, and the sauce is delicious. Would have again, totally. Sorry, just a random thought. Okay, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I'll see you in about a week from on this channel. Until then, get started. If you don't get started writing your story, no one will. But I'll see you next time. Bye, fellow birdies.